We actually have 8, don't we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, never
Oh,
mind.
you're right. We do have 8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
8
Yeah.
out of 11, because there's 3 missing.
Yes. Brian.
Terrible. I'm absolutely terrible.
Okay. Alrighty, we are live.
We live? All right, call the meeting to order. Roll call. Solenox, Glansberg. Sound off. Who's here?
Castle Silver Star.
Talon Woods. Camera Hunt.
No, Ella Silverstar.
Alan Little.
Foxfire, Silver Star.
That we're supposed to use their legal names.
Well, on the documentation, we got the legal names there.
Okay.
That's what matters, right?
All right, do we get everybody?
I think Ryan did not sound off, but we've got a Ryan Wepley.
I sounded off at the same time. So Malachi Silver.
All right, so up first, probably meeting notes.
Oh yes, yeah, I actually forgot to add that one on there. Yes, minutes from last time. From November minutes.
Anybody have any discussion on last month's minutes?
No.
Motion to ratify.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries. Next up,
All right, financial report.
Hey, that's me.
10 cents.
Current balance of the checkbook is $1,179.12. Current savings account balance $1,971.02. Tithe for the month of November has already been paid. It was paid to what we had to pay to the mother church was a total of $91.65, less the $29 for Linode, making it $62.65. And to the Choice Charity, I don't know why it was that, but it's $95. Shouldn't have been $95. Oops. Oh, no, it was 92. I mistyped it. Those were both paid on 12/1. Also on 12/1, the $500 payment for the trailer was made as well and has been received in cash. They just checked the checking account. Right now, we are current on all our bills. And for advertising budget this month, we have $91.65.
thanks very much. Anybody have any questions? For finance?
Before we move on, Patreon, we received $1,001.76 for this month.
Okay. Any questions?
Nope.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Next up,
Alrighty. These aren't in any particular order. I just kind of grabbed them as I grabbed them, but welcome Summerfest.
My co-chair is not here right now.
yeah, let's wait until Megan gets here.
Okay.
Oh, speaking
Pristine timing.
Oh my lord.
Pristine.
Are you a witch or something?
That was funny.
Beetlejuice.
Hi, Megan.
For context, somebody asked about Welcome Summerfest, and people said, hey, we should wait for Megan. And as soon as they said that, as soon as they finished speaking, the bell chimed and you entered.
Here be me.
Ah,
Alrighty. So are you ready to talk about the Welcome Summerfest?
Or are you on your way here?
Well, I was going to start driving there, but I haven't quite left yet, so I can either sit in my parking spot and talk and then leave, or we can wait until I get there.
Let's wait for her to get here.
how far away?
She's over on the west side. She's not that
Yeah, I'm
far.
just on west side.
Okay,
We'll
like
just wait
10,
for
15
Haley to
minutes.
get here.
10 minutes.
Okay.
We will skip that one for now. How about security report?
Not a whole lot going on there. We haven't had any big get-togethers, so nothing to report there. When we get back to doing our normal coven meetings, we'll be going through some table topping stuff, and we'll report back from then.
We did have our Thanksgiving event. You weren't at that one, were you?
No.
I don't think we really had any incidents happen with that, did we? Nothing
Okay,
really.
Caroline? No.
No, for Thanksgiving.
Oh, Thanksgiving, we didn't have any events for any incidents for Thanksgiving either. No.
Sorry, I was just calling it a big event if I'm there.
Oh,
Fair.
Don't get a big head or anything. Anybody have any questions for security chief?
I do.
So-
I do. Are we? At what point have we, or are we going to officially or ratify or have in some form or fashion that plan? Do we need to? Do we have like we haven't really we've talked about that big EOP, was it EOP?
Mhm.
But we never really, I don't think as a board, talked about and finalized anything there.
Well, we'd asked people to go and look at it. If anybody looked at it, they didn't give us any feedback. And we had decided that we need to tabletop a lot of the things in there, because when we're going through, one, we need to tabletop it for the training, two, to work out any bugs. It's kind of a part of an exercise program. So if we probably have more of it printed up for people to look at in a physical copy, but the printer isn't real cooperative
Yeah.
for my gear. So
How many pages is that?
a
It's quite a bit.
bazillion. Yeah.
It's over 100.
That's brilliant.
It's over 100 pages, and it's probably best left in digital form for the most part.
Right.
Because my understanding is that EOP document that we have in the drive is a living reference document that at any point in time, if we have an emergency and we want to know what to do, we should be referencing that document as
Mhm.
is. And at the same time, we need to be going in and updating it regularly with these tabletopping sessions to make sure that it is as on point as possible when we do go reference it. Does that
The
make sense?
tabletopping
Yeah.
sessions are very important for that too,
Yeah.
because a lot of things that you don't realize might cause problems or delays in written format, you'll figure out via that tabletop session.
Yes, that's the whole point.
As a
And-
side note that is somewhat relevant to this conversation, I am being recertified in CPR and AED training this week,
Sweet.
legally.
That's
Training.
good.
So yeah, and the reason I was asking that was because it didn't seem like we'd officially made it, said, hey, this is what we're going to use now. We were table typing scenarios, but until then, it almost feels like we don't have that overhead, if that makes sense. That plan, we never really got the plan until we kind of tabletopping it. So are we basically just assuming at this point that that's the plan unless something?
Yes.
Table- All right.
Yeah. That's the default plan, and we're going through and updating it as we can.
Mhm.
And if we have an incident that's also after the incident with debrief or rehash, that's when we go back in and update that EOP as well.
Because like the tabletop, we're not going to necessarily know what the situation's like until we're in the situation, and then either we did a good thing or, oh, now we learned we got to do this instead.
Right.
It's kind of like rituals.
It's
Mhm.
complicated too because there's so many variables. There's a lot of things that you simply cannot plan for.
Yeah, it's impossible to anticipate everything, just like it's impossible to perfectly accommodate everybody.
It's largely
And-
meant to be a basic guideline.
And I think for the size of our organization, we're pretty much ahead of the game on emergency planning. I mean, we're still a pretty small organization, but we're planning like we're a big one. So,
Because we want to be a big one.
But
And
it's easier to plan it when it's to plan big when you're small than to try to plan big when you're big.
We've seen now that we're ahead of the game in almost every security situation at this point, whether it's child safety training, background checks, the lot. Most places aren't doing what we're doing.
right.
Which
I'd
is
like
good.
to keep
It's a
it
good
that
place
way.
to be.
Yes.
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 Yeah, that's all I was wondering about.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay.
Have you had a chance to connect with Jason Moffett yet about perimeter security?
About Jason Moffett, refresh my memory, please.
So Jason Moffett is Lisa's husband. He is an ally, but not a practitioner. And he was at our Samhain ritual, and he's the one who sat in the lobby and guarded the doorway. Because he loves us and wants to protect us, but doesn't necessarily want to be us.
Okay.
No,
And
doesn't
so
want to admit he's us.
I would like for you to connect with him if he comes to Yule about formalizing that role a little bit and making sure that you guys are talking at events.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay?
Yes.
Cool. Anybody else?
Nope.
Alrighty. What's next?
Alrighty. So I've got the next stuff is stuff we pulled off of Facebook. So I've got community roles.
Flip that list.
What's that?
The list off Facebook, do it the other order.
The other order. Doing the other order. Okay. So, well, shoot. Let me go back because I don't know if I wrote them down in the right order. Give me a second. Let me get back on Facebook and check the order here. All right, so okay, so if we're going flipping the list from the beginning, all right, so we've got discuss transitioning from Zoom to Google Meets, something we've been talking about recently.
Yeah, and that was partly your idea. Why don't you go ahead and introduce that?
Alrighty, so simple, short and dirty of it is Zoom costs us money, Google Meets does not. We are currently using Zoom as our primary medium for all of our online shared experiences. Of course, we have YouTube attached to it, but we're primarily using Zoom. One of the things that we have been testing out a little bit with some of our committee meetings has been using Google Meets, which has some advantages, has some disadvantages, some things we got to figure out. One of the advantages is everybody has access to it, and anybody can sort of create a meeting from that, and it's great. With Zoom, you have to have the point people who can do it, the people who have accounts. So
And it costs money to expand that.
Costs money to expand that. So, so anybody here on the board can have a meeting with somebody using our Google Meet system, and it all operates entirely in the browser. There's no program you have to download. It's entirely browser based, and we did Welcome Summerfest that way. I think we've done it twice now that way. And how'd y'all feel about it? Those who were there.
I like it. Because that way when we do if we do a Google Meet, I can invite the people that I know to that meeting, and it automatically sends them an email and puts it on their calendar and gives them the option to accept or deny, just like Teams does for us at the school. It gives us that option to if we're gonna be able to be there or not, yes or no. And it puts it there, and then it's there, and all you gotta do is go into the calendar, click on it, and ta-da, you're in the meeting.
It's nice because you can set your calendar to always have reminders at certain times. So you can set your calendar for every event to remind you, say, an hour before, a
10
day
minutes
before, 10 minutes before. My standard is 1 hour and 1 day.
So it goes with that,
Really
that
helpful.
with our already existing system, is gonna be a little more flow, a little bit better. One of the things Knox and I were talking about was possibly starting by having our board meetings from this, after this one, forward, being on Google Meets to get used to it. And potentially basically come up with a transition plan for the church as a whole.
That's
Because I think,
a way to do it.
if I remember correctly, we just renewed Zoom for the year, right?
I want to
In
say it was in October.
Yeah,
But the
we-
question is, and this is a Castle question, do we pay for Zoom on a 6-month schedule or a yearly schedule?
It's yearly.
Is it yearly?
It's a yearly
Okay,
schedule.
so we have some time to figure
Right.
out.
Let me double check that.
If we
I'll double
made the
check that while we're
switch, what's the
talking.
cost that goes down the drain from that?
Like at least $250 a year, I believe.
But that's a
So-
$250 drain we wouldn't have on the checking account.
Right. It's not huge.
But it's
but-
still,
I meant if we didn't use up the year we paid for.
we.
Oh,
Well, and this is why what the thing is, if we were to, and this is where the board comes in, is are we open as a board to going in that direction? And then we create effectively a transition plan.
we
We're
want
not-
to create a transition plan because we don't want to lose
Oh.
any congregation along the way.
Hold on.
And
Go
I,
ahead. Go ahead.
So we use the Zoom, to my knowledge, to sync up to the YouTube so that we can download to the Vimeo and upload and have access, like our board meetings are available, for anyone to look at any time. If we went to the Google Meets, are we still going to have that ability to have like an archive for our board meetings and the ability to download our discussions for the Patreon and all that?
I actually just had an idea that if we test it out, might eliminate not just the Zoom, but the Vimeo. There's also a couple $100 a year.
And also not efficient.
There's still going to be a couple of quirks to this, but I had an idea that we might be able to use for that. Castle, what you got?
The last time we paid Zoom was in May of $319.80.
Okay,
Oof. Yeah, it's a lot.
so it wasn't October, it was May.
It's May. I got
Once a
the,
year, okay.
I got
so a
the-
little bit
I-
less time.
I just pulled it up. I just pulled up the transaction detail.
Now, Foxfire's a question we can get rid of real quick, asking, what about Teams? Would we need a premium version? Nobody wants to use Teams. Seminary doesn't even want to use Teams. We're just stuck
Teams
with it.
Sucks.
So,
Okay.
nobody wants to be with Teams right now.
Teams also puts a limitation to those that don't have an account, a Microsoft account or things like that.
It's a barrier for people to get in on the Teams meetings. We have to deal with it at every seminary ritual. There's people who can't get in and we can't help them because we don't know why. So, yeah.
So it looks like Foxfire raised your hand again.
Yeah, my hand went down while they were answering my question. Idea of it when it comes to streaming and cross streaming and the archiving of video. So for my DJing in the past, I've used Twitch and cross streamed between there to other mediums. I don't know if that would be an idea or
Which adds
possibly-
another layer, ends up pain in the ass. Trust me.
Well, we actually have recently installed streaming software on the church computer that I have been testing out for other purposes. And that's something that we're looking at possibly expanding our offerings over the next few months. But it's not something that we need to do right now. We got to stay focused.
And so as far as, all right, the archival question, the initial archival question, you can record the meetings on Meets, just like normal. It saves to your Google Drive, but I believe. The streaming on YouTube is the one thing we've still got to sort out exactly, which is why we wanted to pilot as the board, talk about doing that. Because you have to have certain license levels to stream to YouTube, and we've got to look into seeing what kind of grants we can get as far as being a nonprofit organization. See if Google has like a thing for that.
Are we sure that we don't already have that ability. We
I
have, we have our full workspace from the Google for Nonprofits program, and we are also in YouTube for Nonprofits. So
We may
I would
have
be
that later.
extraordinarily surprised if we can't live stream our Google Meets.
You may have to try it directly because I could not. It would not let me. The option simply was not there.
Okay,
Um,
so that's the one thing that we'll want to take a look at if we want to continue live streaming. Or do we want to move that live stream to another resource?
we could, I think, use OBS, that program you're talking about. I think we can stream to YouTube from there. I had to double check how to do it, exactly how to set it up, but I think we can do
Yes.
that. So stream
Our-
straight from our basically we would just take a screen grab of our screen on the computer while doing it and streaming it to YouTube. Or the tech person could do it.
So, with regards to Foxfire's note in the comments, stating a nonprofit organization still needs to obtain a license to stream content on a streaming service, even if they are not generating profit, as copyright law applies to all organizations, including nonprofits. This means they need to secure licenses from relevant music licensing agencies like ASCAP or BMI to legally use music on their streaming platform. So this is why we can't do movie night until somebody gets us licensed to do movie night. We have also made sure that the music that we are using around our rituals and meetings is made in-house. Thank you, Foxfire. When we are in ritual, that no longer applies though, just so that you're aware. In ritual space for religious purposes, it doesn't apply. We try to, stay as close as we can, but. All right, Castle?
The OBS, Ella, if you talk with Robert about that, because he uses that to stream, I think you can stream straight to YouTube with that. We use it, he uses it at home because he does this, when he does his gaming and stuff, he captures on OBS and puts it into his YouTube channel so that he has an archive of what he's doing. So his members can go see it. So
I thought so because I've done that. I've also done it on Twitch. I think there's a button for both. I'm pretty sure.
yeah, I think he does the OBS.
But
does
the
do
cool
that.
thing too is if we do that and we move to the OBS, Google Meets and whatnot, here's my thought, and this isn't something we want to act on or vote on tonight. We're laying out a plan to the board. I think we should vote on it next month after everybody's had a time to digest and talk about the different intricacies of this. All right. If we go to Google Meets, I think we can drop Zoom, so that's $320 a year. I think we can also drop Vimeo, and here's why. Our Google Drive is locked down. You cannot share documents outside of our organization. I did that on purpose because we have oath-bound materials in there. But it also gives us an opportunity. We could begin granting emails to congregants and adding those emails to groups based on their Patreon status. And then if we have our recordings in the drive, all we have to do is give access to the group at that Patreon level. And that's done. No more Vimeo.
No more, and Vimeo.
And no more having to upload those to Patreon either. So that cuts out a whole step.
Vimeo is what just renewed in October, and that's $240 a year.
Is it a year or is it 6 months?
Pretty sure it's a year.
Double check that.
All
I
right.
thought one of them was on every 6 months instead of a year.
Zoom being as recent as May is something to keep in mind, because if you want to transition without having to renew that for another year,
We'll want it done by May.
That's that timeline.
That's why I said we should vote on this next month, and we should take this month to look over all of the implications. But that's my idea. And that would save us at least $600 a year, maybe $800 if I'm right about one of those.
The thing to consider with the accounts thing is that could potentially, if somebody has trouble getting into their account, could potentially create a barrier. It is a little jankier, but it would. I
don't know that it's necessarily jankier than trying to get on Patreon at times. It's just another system, but it's one that's also very widely used.
Just a chair.
Here,
With those two fees canceled together, yes, the equivalent of a trailer payment.
It's also,
Or just money in the bank, which we really, really need right now.
yeah, because funds are not
So-
right.
I think that's something that Ella and I are gonna look into over the next month. I encourage everybody to try setting up meetings. And we'll make sure and test all of the various scenarios that we would need for church events. And we will put together a transition plan and vote on that next month.
Sounds good.
Does that sound good, everybody?
Yep. Anything to get with the Zoom.
Not bad.
I can't even attend. Once I got over it, I can't. It doesn't stay connected for me.
Yeah,
At
yeah.
all.
So meets might get us more people.
Yeah, I'd solve some problems.
Teams certainly wouldn't. So
No, because I can't even get into fucking
While Teams works fine if you're only using it internally with people who have business accounts for that internal organization, anything beyond
yeah,
that is
you get outside your organization, it's a
horrible.
nightmare. And that's where seminary can get away with it because the focus is internal. Here our focus is external. We need.
Yeah, it's ideal for purely internal work. That's about it.
All right, do we have any other questions on that topic? Are you all ready for a welcome summer report?
I think so. So we are meeting tomorrow. It's a reminder, everybody. I think it's 7. It's in our chat.
So it's 8.
8. Okay. I couldn't remember if it was 7 or 8. It's in our chat.
It's in our chat.
Yeah. So we met a month ago and kind of consolidated what everyone was working on. So we will be meeting tomorrow. We'll be meeting tomorrow to hopefully discuss what everyone has been working on. Though we do have a symbol, symbol's not the
Logo.
A logo. Did we put it in the board chat? I thought that we had.
Things that we have.
Do we have a welcome summer fest specific group or
No, we put it in the
Board chat.
board chat. So I think I
So
know
that everyone could
could see
see
it.
it,
oh,
and vote on it.
to see if that was
they liked
if they were okay with it.
Yeah.
Can you pull up the board chat, Ella, on your computer?
you have to give us a second.
It's basically our logo as it is with like rays of sun coming off of it.
Oh, yeah, I see.
And then it says welcome.
Yeah,
Summer
yeah, I
Festival."
loved it.
Let me open it up and I can share
So that everybody can see it.
Oh yeah, that is really nice.
All right,
I think I
so
glanced at it while I was at work, so I didn't really process the
Yeah.
image, and then I forgot about it because the chat was no longer a notification.
Oh
in my
yeah,
phone.
I remember now. Yep.
So
all right.
that
Love
looks
it.
really nice.
Can y'all see that?
Very nice.
That's cool.
The only thing that we did discuss possibly changing is taking out the year, so then it can just be the same logo
Uh-huh.
and not have to change the year
Yeah,
every year. So that is something that we'll probably discuss tomorrow. I am finalizing our actual paperwork because we had did we put in a deposit or did we just say that we were
I
going to?
called. They take me on my word.
Yeah. And so we'll be finalizing that this month and actually securing the location. I don't believe that we are going to be proposing any additional addendums like the band space or
Yeah,
anything.
sell or anything like that right now because we just it's the cost.
That's a down the road idea. Our big focus this year is going to be increasing our class offerings and our vendor space. We're pushing hard to get our community represented with our vendors, and then hoping that will kind of get the ball rolling to do some of these bigger projects that we were hoping to in our 5 and 10-year plan. One of the things we are gonna be discussing was something that I think Ella was heading up, that was kind of like security-esque, because some of our vendors, this is open to all ages, but some of our vendors may choose to vend products that might not be appropriate for all ages. So that is something that we are discussing as a subcommittee of, are we gonna possibly like have like a 18 and plus section that would have like a bouncer, for lack of a better term, just to make sure that, you know, we are protecting vulnerable people? Are we just going to tell vendors, hey, that's not appropriate for this type of event? So we are going to discuss that tomorrow. Trying to think what else
That, and then we're gonna be getting out stuff for new vendors and stuff, getting letters up to potential new vendors, and
we also
current
talked
vendors.
about the fees. Basically next month, I believe,
they'll start
fee,
increasing.
yeah,
We're gonna
fee
be-
will go up, because at that point we are 6 months out, 3 months out, fee will go up, and then month out, fee will go up.
just to help cover costs.
Okay.
And also it's so that we can have some,
Encourage early sign up.
exactly, early sign up, you know, kind of that scarcity mentality. And then when we have people sign up, we are asking them to provide us in the proper graphic pixels and such, like their logo and like some of their products, so that we can get advertisements created to kind of drum up some of that excitement for our vendors, to help support them and then help support us as well. Though I believe we did have a question that we were going to ask the board in reference to, yes, I remember it. We had previously discussed marketing budget, and it's like 50 to the church, 50.
That's cumulative. It doesn't go away. I found that out already.
Okay.
The advertising budget for Welcome Summer Festival, it's cumulative. It builds, and it doesn't go away until we use it. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's on you to keep records.
yes,
Because some of our decisions that we were gonna discuss tomorrow pended what that answer was.
Okay.
Because we're thinking about like a ramp up kind of style.
The-
To- As we
the
get
closer
closer,
we
then
get,
we
the
get
more we
more
spend.
folks up
Yes.
there. Any
Sounds like a good
questions?
plan. Any other questions? Nothing on Welcome Summer Festival? Alrighty. What's next?
Alrighty, carpet cleaning.
That's me. One of the guys I work with at EverHealth does carpet cleaning on the side. I brought him up here one day to show him the space that we need to get clean. It includes the room we're sitting in right now, the hallway, and the social room. $275 to get that all. He'd come in. The only thing we'd have to do is move the chairs and stuff. The bookcases could stay where they're at. All the big furniture could stay where it's at. We just need to move all the small stuff out of the way so you can come in and pre-treat and shampoo the carpet. The one caveat is that he cannot take a check. It has to be in cash. Yes,
How long would the space be, like tied up?
2 hours.
No, that's not bad.
3 hours max, he said. I talked to him already. And he just cannot do it on a Sunday.
How long for the carpet to dry out?
He didn't tell me that. I can find out from him.
You should also ask if we'll need to use fans or anything to ventilate, depending on the ventilation we have here.
I can double check with him on that.
Because if it
But-
stays cool and damp without airflow, it may take.
But $275, and it doesn't tie one of us up doing it, and it's done professionally. And hopefully some of the stains that are in the carpet can come out and make this space look a little bit better. Because there's a large stain here in the library, and I know there's a couple in the social room as well. Just from us. And it's not anything anybody's done, it's just wear.
Accidents happen.
It's wear and tear.
Yeah. That's just.
But let's
time
make
to
it
take
look
care of
nice.
Yeah.
Let me write those 2 questions down so I don't forget to ask him when I see him tomorrow.
Motion to approve spending $275 to clean the carpets in here.
Second.
Second,
Any discussion? Questions?
I think it seems really reasonable.
Yeah.
Do we want to vote on a final price before we get questions answered or after all the questions have been answered?
I don't think those questions necessarily affect it. It's just a planning thing.
Yeah, just wanted to double check.
I would propose Monday or Tuesday
I was
since
gonna say
people
the
are
same
not as used to coming here, and plus like we have events Wednesday, Thursday, typically Friday,
Right, yeah.
typically Saturday.
Monday, Tuesday's gonna be a good time.
Probably if we're going for avoiding interfering with things, I would say Monday to allow for dry time if it exceeds,
Yeah.
you know,
That's
24
That would give
hours.
us maximum dry time before a Wednesday.
Yeah.
All right,
So
all in
we-
favor?
I
I,
Aye.
I,
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I
Take her away,
abstained.
Castle.
Did
Get her done.
you hear that, Ella? I abstained. So it's.
Yep.
How long to dry? And would
do need to ventilate.
Monday,
Sure, we have enough people, we could probably drum up enough box fans.
I mean, we've got 2 on site,
we've got 2 on site, and if I need to, I've got a couple at home I could bring over too.
3 counting the new water fan that we bought for dinner.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I
Water
feel like
fan,
maybe
I feel like
just
that
the
really,
fans.
that'd really help it dry out.
I mean, without putting water in it.
But
I thought it was fine.
I'll see if he can do that on a Monday. I know that there's some reasons why he can't do Sundays, which is fine. I respect that. There's some other things he's got going on in his life, but and it would be he'd come in and he'd hook up to the water supply in the bathroom to run the water to clean the carpets. Because he has to have hot water, or as hot as he can get.
Mm,
That's the only place we can get hot water because we have no hot water.
Oddish.
Why don't we have hot water?
Because there's a on-demand water heater installed under that sink that has not been functional, was never functional. We have an on-demand hot water heater that could be installed in that if we have a plumber to do it.
So in the lease, is that our responsibility or the landowners?
It's our responsibility, but we have to have a licensed plumber to do it.
That makes it obnoxious.
It
All
does.
right.
They know how to install it. I'm not a licensed plumber. Although, never mind. I sometimes look like a plumber. I play one on TV there.
Alrighty. Was that everything for that one, carpet cleaning?
I think so.
All right. Next one I've got is hallway banner.
Tamara's got a
Karen
question.
has a hand up.
Check if he has pine in his products.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah, I will double check and make sure he doesn't have.
thank you, Tamara.
Thanks, Tamara. Or lavender for that matter.
Lavender.
Or lavender.
Other scent related
No pine?
allergies.
Try to avoid scents.
Slash-
Yeah.
Thank you, Tamara.
Yep. Glad I thought of it.
Thank you. I will double
Because
check.
pine is so common in cleaning products.
Yeah.
Right, I will double check with him. I don't think he does, but I will ask him.
All right, next up.
All right. Hallway banner for convocation. We got asked by Barb if we wanted to do a banner down the hallway for convocation at the hotel. For those of you who've been, it's that hallway when you're going down towards the from the main hotel towards the convention center area. And basically we have a big old banner that says Weavers of the Web, and we could throw them some logos and they can put it together for us, or we could send them a completed design. And that costs $150 to have that done. So our name is there.
Question.
Yeah.
Why reinvent the wheel? Can we just take our banner down and use our banner that we've got?
We don't have a banner that size.
What
They're
size
setting
is
up
it?
a whole grid and
Oh, okay.
this is the only banner you put up is the one that you pay them for.
Okay, that's fine. I didn't realize that it had to be something bigger than
Yeah.
what we have.
Well, I don't think it's bigger, but it is a different size.
Okay, no,
Dimensions.
okay, not a problem.
I don't know how to ask my question, so never mind.
No, ask it.
What's your question?
Well, I was trying to okay, would they then keep the banner
Oh, no,
for
we
next? Do we get it at the end to
Yes.
put in our stuff?
Yes, we get
Okay.
to keep it. We
Okay.
get to keep it.
Could we theoretically use it the next year at a lower cost because it's already made and provided by them?
Well, if not, it becomes an entirely different question next year.
Mm,
But it's not entirely relevant for this year because I think, because we would be able to have it and take it with us anyway.
Right.
we could take it to all of our other events. And
Might be
Well,
worth
we use it-
asking.
We use it at all our other events.
Yeah.
If we
Yeah.
wanted to.
It's a little bit more than what it would cost for us to just get that printed. And that would allow for the advertising expense, the space rental essentially, to
Mhm.
have it up at the event. But
that
otherwise, a banner like that would generally cost us around $100, so.
When do they need an answer to that by?
ASAP.
Yeah.
As in yesterday.
Yeah, they're finalizing everything right now.
I think that's a great idea. Then we also have another banner that we can use for outdoor events, like when we go up to Wolf Run or when we go to other places.
Plus, it helps to ensure that we have some visibility there. We still don't know if we're teaching, we don't know if we're doing rituals, we do know we don't have a suite. So
Right.
it would give us some visibility.
Do we know for sure that it is a material that can be used outside?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
the
they're printing the vinyl banners.
vinyl banners. It's something, and it's like I said, it's something we can use at our other outdoor
That's
events.
what
And
I was thinking.
I think that's a great idea. It makes it, yeah, Fenner. We could,
So yes, I understand that it's $500 or not five. Wow, it's $50 to work today. Okay, my mind we're struggling.
Too.
I'm here.
I think a lot of us are pretty fried today.
So I know it's $50, but at this point in time, we don't have to lug it down there. Now, granted, we'll have to lug it back.
why are you worried about lugging it down there or back? We have a trailer at your house that'll fit it.
just to
There is a
clarify,
little bit of a convenience cost of not having to go get it printed and
Store it in the
store it
meantime.
until then.
And remember to take it with
Yeah.
us.
Take it with us.
Like Cards Against Humanity.
So I kind of yes, I understand it's $50 more than we would be doing it on our own, but it is a little bit of a convenience to just have
Worth
them
it at
do
that
it.
point, I think.
I think it's okay. I think we should go with it.
Okay.
Plus the cost of our suite, the Serenity suite that we're sponsoring, and the other two items that you talked about in that you posted on Facebook in the message chat. Couple tickets.
Yeah,
They include information directing to the Serenity Suite on our Weavers.
No.
sign. Well,
No.
then we wouldn't be able to read.
You're right. We don't want to do that because then it limits it just to that event.
there'll be information out on the Serenity Suite.
So I think doing the $150 spend on this is something that will benefit us in the long run. It's something we can use at other events, i.e. when we go to Wolf Run or other places.
Though, I mean, depending on what we can put on, if we put our Facebook or something, we could always put on our Facebook, we are in
Mhm.
this suite, so we could indirectly advertise
Yeah.
the suite through the banner.
Or we're gonna be giving them the graphics. We could put a QR code on the damn thing
That's
and
what I was
point it wherever
thinking.
we want.
Exactly.
Right.
Nice to link them to the Facebook and the Patreon.
And our website.
So I think we could just put a QR code on there and give it a link tree and
Yep. The link tree QR code.
so Lennox, do you remember what the dimensions were on that? Because it was asked.
I was trying to look there. Let me check one more spot. I want to say it was 3 by 5. But
I
I
thought it
don't
was 2 by
remember.
6, but I couldn't remember.
If possible, I prefer us to make our own graphics than to have them
will.
do it.
Yeah.
But I also
Yeah.
don't want to give a job off that I'm not doing.
Hey, good call. You're going to be volunteering yourself, sister?
I mean, I can if I need to.
You don't want to be volunteering.
Do some good graphics.
I know you
That's
can.
what I've learned this year.
I know you can.
I'm good at drawing things, but not computer stuff.
I don't have it exactly. Sorry.
I want to say it's probably about
The
3.
communication has still been really confusing. It's hard to figure out.
I mean, if anybody finds it later, we can always
Yeah.
post it to the chat.
But did we, so did somebody move that we vote on that?
I make a motion that we move to spend
Ryan has his
150.
hand up.
Oh, what's up, Alan? I'm sorry.
Ryan,
Or so, who has their hand up?
Ryan did.
What up?
I was just wondering if we were going to get communication anytime soon on whether or not our classes were accepted.
We have no information on that.
Still?
Correct.
That rocks. Okay.
They're really cutting that close.
So Bill, go ahead.
Not our circus, not our monkeys. We just have tickets to the show. Good. All right. I move that we spend $150 to advertise with a banner in the main hallway at Convocation this year, plus the cost of the Serenity Suite. And was it 2 extra tickets you wanted to buy?
I think it was 2 or 3.
Leave it.
Well, I had a whole other section for convocation separately from this. Did we want to just throw that in here as well, I guess?
I mean, it's the same topic.
Same topic, might as well.
So what's the full final cost?
So the banner would be an additional 150 on top of the contract that they already sent me. Which is. Their emails, like format, so strangely. $495 plus 150. So $645.
Plus the 2 tickets, or is
That's
that include the
including 3 tickets.
3 tickets?
195 and 150.
$495 plus 150, so $645 is gonna be the total. That includes the banner on display, 3 adult passes, sponsorship and running of the Serenity Suite, social media, ad posting, access, a clickable link on the Convocation website, and general advertising.
That actually sounds like a really good price for what we're getting out of it.
It is a damn good price.
Do we remember what we did last year?
Last year we did the Serenity Suite and the
In this suite.
suite, and that was it.
Well, no, we had social
We had
media posting and other
advertising.
things, yeah.
I think we did some advertising.
Yeah, that I asked Barb to put us together what we had last year, because that's what we authorized.
Wasn't it closer to 1,000 last year?
I'm trying to see if I can find
Because we had the
it.
suite.
I was gonna say, I think
Yeah.
we brought it up a lot.
The suite brought it up a lot, so by not paying for the suite, we have a little wiggle room. But we're also getting the tickets in that, which we weren't.
We didn't get the tickets last year, so.
So just to sum this up, I've got Bill moves that we spend the $150 to advertise the banner in the main hallway at the convention center, plus the Serenity Suite sponsorship, advertising, link to the website, plus the 3 tickets totaling $645.
Yep.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I will be in touch with Barb,
You're just gonna pay that through via PayPal or,
hopefully,
Okay.
easiest.
okay,
I will talk to Barb.
all right, thank you. Just-
All right, I've got
Okay.
one that wasn't on our Facebook list that we didn't really talk about yet, but Green Man Day, which this month's weird because I think the first day of the month is a Sunday, so that's this
It's a
coming Sunday.
Monday.
Um,
First day of the month was a Monday.
No, it wasn't, it was
Was it?
It wasn't Sunday.
Sunday
Okay,
the
my
first.
bad, my bad.
Friday the
Thursday
13th
night.
this month.
Oh,
Oh, really?
that's right. I remember now.
So, yeah, what do we got planned for Green Man Day?
Well, Green Man Day kind of I think that topic goes along with some of the other stuff that I wanted to talk about.
We could do the other stuff and bring it in there as we need to. I wondered if facility maintenance was somehow part of that. I wasn't sure though.
It's upcoming Sunday, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so Green Man Day is this Sunday. Um. Yeah, this goes into some of the other topics.
Okay.
Does anybody else have anything else that you're needing to talk about tonight? Any business that needs to get taken care of that has not already been addressed?
I don't believe so. I think I'm good.
Okie dokie. In that case, it's story time.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
So we are coming up on our 8th anniversary as an organization.
I didn't actually realize it'd been that long.
Yeah, 8 years. And we've come a long way.
So I've been doing entry 2 years longer than you've been doing waivers then. Okay.
It was your 10-year anniversary.
My 10-year anniversary was last month.
And I've always had a vision from the beginning. Long term. And it's based on things that I grew up with, things that I found lacking when I was raising my kids, or just as a pagan in general. And then it's a big vision. But I still think it's the same. And we've made a lot of growth and a lot of transformations. And everybody here has changed and grown along with it, which is really cool. When I started this, it was just me and my kids and my friends. And then in 2020, things changed. We lost that first home, started getting our first students, serious students. Started branching out a little bit, finally got the online thing that I felt like we needed from the beginning, but needed the COVID push to make it happen. We got the store open, which is a whole other conversation. Got this space over here. And we've gone from being just a family and friends to a going concern. We have enough people through training and in training that we present to the public as professionals. We've done enough together. We've worked enough together. We've got synergy. We can predict each other a little bit and anticipate what needs to be done, which is really cool. Every 3 years or so, we've made a shift, a bump. And gonna be time for another one. And this one's going to be hard because it's going deeper into territory that a lot of us don't have a lot of successful experience with. Right? And it's kind of touching on the edge of becoming things that some people said they never wanted to have anything to do with. Organized religion.
Hi.
The thing is that in order to get to where we want to go, we need to be bigger. We need to be bigger. We need more people coming. We need more money coming in. We haven't had any growth over the last 12 months after constant growth, almost from the beginning. So that tells me that something needs to change. One of the other things that is shifting at the same time is that I'm wearing out. Most everybody knows that I've got health issues going on that can't be fixed. I can't do physical labor anymore. I really can't. I even did some of the setup for tonight and had my alerts dinging at me before we sat down. Part of why larger organizations do things the way that they do is because they work. The larger a group gets, the more you need to have some agreed upon rules and standards in order for everybody to get along. When you're talking 5 or 10 people, you don't need as much. When you start getting beyond that, then we need a little more structure. And I think we've seen some of this too with our most recent additions to the board, feeling a little lost and unsure of what's going on because we did not have a system in place for them to step into. And that's kind of what this gets down to, is getting systems in place to run things, to make it easier for people to come up to speed, to make it easier for people in the community to step in and help out as they can, without it being this huge barrier of you don't know what you're doing and we can't tell you how to help. That's part of what I've been trying to encourage with the checklists and things like that. We made a little progress in a few spots. Some things are at a breaking point. Things that have not gotten picked up on, or that folks said that they were going to do and never did. I'm not naming names here because there's been something for everybody. And I realize that most of the people in this room feel overloaded. I realize that most of the people in this room have full-time jobs. Most of y'all get paid for that. And I don't know how much y'all realize this, but I have put in the equivalent of 2 full-time jobs on this organization for 8 years now. And I have not gotten paid anything. I cannot continue to carry this on my back and get any bigger. I can't carry what I am carrying. My back is literally crumbling. And right now, if I fall down, everything goes. And I hate to be blunt, but that's the truth right now. Y'all have no idea how much I'm doing around here. And if I fall, it's all going down. We have to get it to a system to where it's not 80 hours of work on my part to get things done. And things can be handed off. We need a way for community members to come in and volunteer ad hoc with as little friction to that as possible. If somebody wants to, hey, how can I help? Give them a fucking list, right? So that they can help.
Apologies, what's the definition for ad hoc?
As needed.
Ah, okay.
So like not necessarily needing to be something where Foxfire is committing to spend X number of hours per week doing things. But, you know, Cody walks up and says, hey, how can I help? and we can coherently give him jobs to do, right? But also so that y'all can come in and do things more and know where you can step in and what you can do. We also need more defined community roles, including some that have been needed for a long time, but have never been fully taken over by anybody. Some that we've never had formally exist need to be created and taken. So top of the list for this is facilities maintenance. We do not have janitorial service at all. Nobody comes in here and cleans anything outside of this organization. Floors, windows, ceilings, light fixtures, toilets, mirrors, sinks, trash, recycling. None of it. I've been doing a lot of it. I can't do all of it. I've tried to step up and I can't. Some of this has not gotten done at all. Some of this I've been doing needs to be taken over. And somebody needs to be in charge of, figuring out what I missed when I made lists and delegating and making sure that either they do it or somebody else does it. I need somebody who is not me to be the buck stops here on facilities maintenance. Foxfire.
As to speak to that, as some might know, I previously have a custodial background, so I can take over that and do some walk around when I'm at church and do that when I'm there.
You sure you are up to taking this role?
I can do that.
Okay. Then I need you to come up here and meet with me sometime between now and Wednesday night to go over the systems that I've started putting in place and refine them. Okay?
Okay.
I want to hand off to you what I've determined is the base minimum, and then you can take it from there and figure out what I've missed and start lining people up and whatnot. What I've put in place, just so that everybody knows for the time being, I have 4 laminated sheets, 2 in here right over the computer and 2 in the back by the paper towel dispenser. 2 up here are labeled before and after events. And they are a checklist of things that should be getting done before and after every single time we have the public inner space. Ones back by the paper towel dispenser are labeled weekly and monthly. Monthly, obviously, is also labeled Green Man Day. Those things should be getting paid attention to at Green Man Day. All of them you can put initials on and or dates for the weeklies and the monthlies just to make sure when they're getting done. So that if something hasn't been marked off in a long time, that should be a target, right? I also made a checklist of cleaning supplies and posted on the cabinet under the sink. So, but again, this is all off top of my head. So I look forward to Foxfire taking over and refining that, but those lists are now up for folks to reference for things that need to be getting done that I've been doing or that just haven't been getting done.
On your, I noticed your list because I picked one up and put it up back up on the wall a couple of times.
You'll notice I added tape here.
Did we
Right.
lose somebody?
We lost Malachi.
The carpet cleaning shouldn't be done monthly. That should be done once every 6 months or once a year, or as needed for like stains and stuff. But I don't think that's something we should be paying out every month.
Okay.
Just-
That's one of the welcome back, Malachi. That's one of the things Foxfire can look at refining the stuff that I put
Okay.
up.
Just
But
a
for
thought.
now, it's a starting point because we
Yeah.
gotta start somewhere.
Right.
I just want to make sure that I'm clarify that I understand. The before events would be like before Wednesday, before Thursday weaving, before
Before divination
tarot.
roundtable, before inebriateds.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And if we are checking those things before and after every event, they will all get done as much as they need to get done. Tamara?
Having built myself a more set schedule and gotten to a point where I can add more set tasks with clear boundaries into my routine. Tuesdays are doing days for me. Starts with physical therapy. I go to work. Those are doing days.
Good night.
If
Good night.
I can get a key so that I can get in, I can come in Tuesday nights after work and hit that weekly list.
You don't need a key to get in Tuesday nights after work.
Then yeah, so long as I get in, I come in on Tuesday nights after work and I can hit that weekly list. I cannot guarantee that I can always hit everything off of it, but I can at least try and hit high points, main points, things that are going to get noticed.
Okay,
I also
but
have the whole
as your
company back,
mother,
so.
I do not want you being the one who's always doing that. Because you don't have any more business doing the physical labor than I do.
Correct, but there are some tasks that I can do and I can help get that rolling.
You're an adult. I just have to say that as your mother.
That's why I added the caveat that I may not be able to hit everything on that list, but that also helps me to continue that building set schedules and kind of branching out of bare minimum, which is what I'm at.
How before the event is acceptable? Like the before Wednesday, would if we did, I'd have to read it.
Most
Well,
of that
like-
stuff should be able to be done in the hour to 2 hours
Okay,
beforehand.
Okay.
Yeah. It really is a right
Like
before,
right
because it's
before.
like flipping the sign, sweeping the front steps, checking the trash in the bathroom, you know.
okay.
I also wanted to add having Tuesday be a day to hit weekly things. That means you're starting your active section of the week.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah, so that would
like
be
good
really,
timing
really
for
helpful.
that. And there's not going to be people here, generally speaking, Tuesday nights, which means you can kind of do some of those tasks unimpeded.
Not saying we won't ever have an event on Tuesday nights, but we not currently have an event on Tuesday nights. Temporarily lost castle.
So
Malachi,
So I am here at the church on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 12 to 4. I do not have a current full reading schedule. I come in most days and sit around and eat and do some homework. If you tell me to do a thing, I will do it.
Well, I think that's the idea, and correct me if I'm wrong about having the checklist, that it's free for you to check at any moment in time to be like, hey, I've got 10 minutes of energy. I'm gonna go wipe down the planters.
I'll be perfectly honest. I'm inching up on something here that I have a lot of personal blocks around. And if I end up doing this thing, it's going to be big. I don't like telling people what to do, particularly when I can't pay you.
I don't mind being told what to do.
he just asked you to tell him anyways.
Okay, Ryan,
Also,
you're
this
not,
is part of how I tell people what to do.
Mhm.
you're not understanding. We're taking things off of Solanox's plate, not adding to it by asking her to tell you what to do.
I just made a list. How much more telling do we need?
Okay.
Visible labor concept.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Mental load.
Yeah.
Part of it is taking off the mental load.
Okay.
I'll be honest.
Another option. Sorry, go ahead.
I'll be honest. I think exactly the same way as Ryan.
So part of taking off that
Or-
mental load is considering who else you can ask.
And right now you
Instead
have
of
a very
directing all
good
questions
authority
to one
posted
person.
on the walls. So. And Foxfire and I are going to work to make sure that that authority is solid. And Foxfire is going to be the one who's going to make sure that it gets done if nobody else does it.
And Foxfire should be the one that we go to if we are like,
If
Hey,
you guys
I-
notice something that falls under facilities maintenance
Yeah.
that is not getting done, take to Foxfire and get it added to the list.
Heard.
I will look at lists.
So Green Man Day this month should include things that need to be done off of the lists. I believe we still have up on the board finishing the donor tree.
I was thinking about that. I could
If anybody's
work
up
on
for that. We also have decorating for Yule
We also need to go out to Megan's house to the trailer.
and rotate seasonal in and out of the trailer, which is on the monthly list. That should be getting done every month.
Right, just, I do know that's something that we do need to do.
So
You work Sunday, Megan? Okay, just, you don't mind if I go out? All right,
So for people that come in and ask what they can do, we should probably refer to top of the list, monthlies. Next up, anything weekly, and then after that, anything cosmetic or fun.
And I did include
True.
cosmetic and fun on the events list. We can add it to the other list if you want Foxfire. That is a way that people can help because that's something else that we need to address as far as facilities is how things look.
change the decor up.
I enjoy doing that.
Then come do it, please. When I talked about how we transform every few years, we need to transform again. We need to be, rather than a club, just kind of what we've been, we need to be a ministry. And part of this is going to be working with the store on things that we offer through there. But part of it is, what would people expect to see when they come in here? And what would make them feel awe and wonder? What would make them feel the presence of the gods and magic? What would make them want to stay and then bring their friends? And then after that, also be thinking about when we're decorating, we want to do weddings in here and we want to be able to do maybe parties in here and stuff like that too. So those are our tidbits that we could add into the decor. Mandy's talked about doing curtains in front of the bookshelves, painting the walls, freshening up the trim, fixing the carpet or getting area rugs. These are all things that are possibilities. Tara?
So
More
for me
tablecloths.
to start a ball rolling on that on my end, there are some questions that I need to ask regarding like lease limitations and such things like that.
We can paint, we can hang things, we can drill into walls. The
Can
only
we
thing that,
remove blinds, for example?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, only thing we can't do is move walls.
We
and
cannot move
rewire
walls, we cannot
electrical.
alter electrical, we cannot alter plumbing.
Yeah. Beyond that, sky's the limit.
Because we got,
access or-
trust me, we got in trouble for removing that wall, even though we had permission.
I'm not gonna go there right now.
But yeah, I see what you're saying.
This is why we want to be on our place so that we don't have to deal with somebody else. We can just, do it ourselves and, yeah, but in order to do that, we need to be bigger. And part of, we talked about with security, how we're kind of ahead of the ball on a lot of things. We need to start getting ahead of the ball on more things. Because that's how we are going to draw the people in who are going to sustain us in continued growth and getting that temple built.
Mhm.
All right, I have just one more thought, I suppose, to put forward regarding that. Again, to really solidly get the ball rolling. I need a concrete, solid idea of the atmosphere we're trying to achieve.
Which,
Think like an aesthetic.
witch and temple.
Okay, the
When
light
you-
and airy, more mysterious, that kind of thing.
Mysterious, soothing, witch,
Welcoming.
welcoming, gay.
So gay.
So gay.
When you said it,
It's like towards which
Okay.
variant on that, because
Oh.
those are wildly different.
Yes,
Okay.
obviously not My Little Pony gay.
Which-
Take a board, throw all the shit at it, and see what sticks, honey.
No, this is actually an important question because this involves, we also want to attract families and families with children and make that friendly too. Malachi?
So are we thinking like purple walls, drapes across the ceiling
Yes,
that are in gay colors with twinkle lights coming down?
I love it.
At least.
More
Additionally-
plants,
Additionally, what kind of temple
fountains.
do you want to achieve?
We want a temple that, okay, so let's take another look at that long-term vision. Because I got a couple of things I want to add to it anyway. We want a place that is self-sustaining. So it is big enough to provide enough service and benefit to enough people to pay for itself. And I want it to pay the people who are running it. Those of us who are running it should be able to eat and live. Ideally, through the services that we provide. And I am done with feeling ashamed over asking for that because that is how it has been done throughout history. Forever. So we need to provide enough to the community so that they will provide that back in kind because it is an exchange. Right?
Yes.
Mhm.
So there you go. Temples that service families, that provide all of the spiritual needs that you need from birth to death, that provide a social support net, a social safety net. I mean, long term, all of those things.
Additionally, considering how many of our, especially those working with this stuff, congregation is struggling with health issues or other disabilities, we are also, I'm assuming, looking at anything that is low maintenance.
Low maintenance.
So when you
yep.
consider lots of plants, especially fake plants, that requires a lot of extra maintenance. Draperies in the ceiling also require a notable amount of extra maintenance. You have to dust, you have to
Draperies
wash.
in the ceiling can be pulled and washed.
Yes, I'm just saying that each of those stylistic choices can be minimal maintenance, requiring little to no touching up. Or we can add a lot of things that piling together add a lot of maintenance.
So we probably want to try and keep it as low maintenance as possible, but we also just need to be stepping up our game here.
I can tell you from fake plants look like shit after a while.
They get
Yeah,
so
no,
dusty.
I don't want
Nobody
fake
ever
plants.
dusts
We
them.
want real plants. And
Thank
we want
you.
to take care of them. I picture walking in, and I want to work on keys next year in this direction. I picture walking in and hearing the sound of a fountain running and seeing shrines surrounded with ivy and twinkle lights and candles. And ideally we have like the sound of birds and shit, but probably not here.
I love you, but no caged birds, please.
Yeah.
They're just disgusting. I had to clean those as kids. Like, oh,
You get what I'm going for.
yeah.
Think about what happens when you walk into Prusse. I mean, you walk into Prusse, it is all about the joy of the animals everywhere, and it's beautiful. It's a little chaotic, but it's on point.
And then a big differing one as well is whether you lean towards light and airy or darker, more atmospheric. So think like a lot of the witchy shops that we've been to in the past, the small ones, they're usually very dark.
Mhm.
They heavily lean towards that mysterious Hollywood witch vibe.
And that's where I do want to
And one of the
differentiate.
things I think is really good here is just how bright and open and airy our atmosphere is.
And it's influenced because of our family being blind, but I think it does also influence our atmosphere and is one of the things that sets us apart. And I do want to maintain that.
Do you have a place to get bulbs for these lights? Because we are got some good bulbs in here. I can see that.
Do we have 2 bulbs?
Yes,
There should be 3 in each.
There should be 4 in each. There's 2 dead bulbs here.
Should be 4 in each.
All of them only have 2.
I think
I don't think we need more.
Do we have
We
a
do not
there's-
already-
there's-
if we add more bulbs?
Three in that,
No.
it looks like there's 3 in
No,
the.
no,
No,
no.
Okay.
two in
No.
there.
We'll give people
Two in there.
migraines if we added
Hang on,
more light.
Hang on,
Yeah,
that
no.
is
It's
a
already too
good
much.
question to ask, because if you do want to add any kind of draping or fabric to the ceiling, you may need to add light to counteract how much that blocks.
Yeah, no,
So
what
that
I'm
is a good
thinking is that
question.
if we drape parallel to the lights and around them.
Also, I have contact from a previous job. I can see what it would take to get LED lights where we'd get rid of the fluorescents. We wouldn't have the migraines.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Check on that.
That would be
nice.
lovely.
I can see what we can do to get to get away from the fluorescents and go to LEDs. They'll last longer and it'll be more of a cost up front. I'm gonna tell you that. But it's gonna be in the long run better for us because we're not gonna be replacing bulbs as often.
I mean, the other idea is as they burn out, you replace it with an LED.
Right, yeah, there's that.
Additionally, basic starting points, some of the best things we can begin with are painting,
Mhm.
so that everything is consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Windows, so
And clean up.
Getting rid of the
trim on these
shitty-ass
and the
blinds.
and yeah.
and if we want to have draperies, hanging them straight and consistent so we don't have wavy lines. And
Well, that
the
was,
flooring.
Yeah. Yeah.
Outside of carpet cleaning, we have a lot of weird gaps and tape lines.
And
rough
I'm actually
spots.
thinking about, and we'll probably talk about this next month after we do carpet cleaning and get through Yule. I would like to get like area rugs like Jason did and tape them down like he did. In here, I think that would be good.
and honestly, we can go to Ollie's and get them cheap.
Yeah.
We'll take a
Always
look
got
and see
cheap
what's out
rugs.
there. And then
And they're
Put that
nice.
out for a vote
I've
next
looked
month, I
at them,
think.
they're decent and we can
Yeah.
get.
But yeah, so some of
Yeah.
the first things that I would likely be bringing forward is buying paint. And I'll probably have to source because I can paint some, but only so much.
yeah, well, and that's things too that we can work on with Green Man Days. Get people in here doing that
So yeah,
stuff.
bringing
or,
that forward as
you know, you could
potentially
set up a
nearby
work day for it. Yeah.
costs or changes, those are gonna be the biggest things we can do first. And everything else will likely be built around those changes. So you start with the basics, the walls, the ceilings, the floors, and you build on that.
So what I'm gonna suggest is Tamara, since you're taking this project on, go through and come up with a proposal for a phase 1.
Mhm.
Remodeling.
Yeah.
And what supplies would be needed, what jobs would be getting done. And then bring that to the board next month and we will vote on that and move forward. Does that sound good?
Any cost associated with those supplies too, please.
Well, yeah,
Just,
part of making the list.
just,
I think I'm gonna leave the discussion at that for the board meeting part of it for right now, unless anybody has any other questions or comments.
as long as we're talking about boards, we're talking about church stuff. We have right now in storage, one dry erase board that's not being used. We have 2 large conference tables that are not being, well, 3 technically, but one we don't want to get rid of because it's huge. And it's a really nice table and we like it for board meetings.
Well, especially once we get more space.
Right.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
we have, but we do have 2 conference tables that were in the space previous that we need to get rid of. How do we want to go about? Do we want to put them up on Marketplace and try to get rid of them, guys? What do
Yeah.
we want to do?
Yeah, put them on
Definitely try and
marketplace.
get money out of it.
Get some that
We do not need to be keeping stuff we don't have an immediate use for right now. It needs to be all about building
Unless
Building
it's
the savings.
particularly high value, like the
Yeah,
one
if-
table.
If, yeah, I mean, I get we want the one table, but I would even get rid of that table if it became necessary. I don't think it's necessary right now. I don't think it's off the board, but we need to not be holding on to things we don't have.
we don't need to
immediate
be
use
hoarding
for. Yeah.
shit.
No hoarding. We've got limited space in here. We've already pushed on it once.
So that third dry erase board that is in Tarot 2, do we want to get it pulled out, get some pictures of it, get it sold? or do we want to find a place to put it up to use it? That's my question.
Guys, sell it right now. We've talked about pulling it out and using it. We've had it for 2 years. Hasn't happened.
All right.
Put it on Marketplace. Any other board questions, board business? Did we get anybody on YouTube?
No comments. There was somebody watching there for a little bit, but it's just nobody on there right now. No comments.
Okay. All right, motion to adjourn formal proceedings.
Seconded.
All in favor?
I
Aye.
Turn off the stream.
Second.